It's TBISE, the best in sports entertainment. Here once again with my guy, manager Marty. So listen, we got a fight. A lot of people we wanted to see happen, but we were saying, hey, maybe it's too soon. Maybe this fighter's not ready. Maybe this other fighter's more experienced. And I'm referring to David Benavidez versus Morrell. So both of the fighters are excellent talent. David Benavidez is now, 29-0, 24 knockouts.
Yeah.
Morrell has 11 fights, 9 KOs. Some say it's too soon, like I said. What's your thoughts on this fight? Is this fight too soon for Morrell, or is this something that this will be an opportunity that you think he'll step up to the plate and come up with the upset? What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, look, in boxing sometimes we might look at things and say, hey, this fight is a little bit too premature, right? Mm-hmm. This fight is too soon because there's a disparity in experience with these two warriors, mm-hmm. these two fighters. But there comes a time in boxing where it just has to happen. Mm. I mean, let's look at the history real quick. When you look at guys like Leon Spinks, right? Mm-hmm. And the amount of fights that he had when he was in the ring with a legend in the great Muhammad Ali.
Correct.
Right? Let's look at Tim Witherspoon, Sr., when he got in the ring and he fought Larry Holmes.
Correct.
Right? Let's look at, let's say this year alone. This is the year that has been happening in as often as it has been happening. Keyshawn Davis, no more than 15 professional fights. He's in there with a guy with extremely a lot of fights and more experience than him. Israel Madrimov, no more than 12 professional fights. He is in there competing with the great Terrence Crawford. Mm-hmm. Then you have right now David Morrell, 11 professional fights. He in there with David. Well, he's going to be in there with David Benavidez, 29 professional fights. Keyshawn Davis, David Morrell, these guys are considered prospects based on their record, mm-hmm. but they have so much talent. You can't deny the fact that they deserve an opportunity.
Yeah.
Kid Austin, mm-hmm. right? No more than 20 professional fights, but he's getting in there with the great Shakur Stevenson, mm-hmm. right? So this is the year that this has been happening thus far. And right now, when you don't have a lot of options for the world champions and more experienced guys, put him in there with these young, hungry lions. Why not? I mean, think about it. Terrence Crawford was supposed to be in a rematch against Errol Spence. That did not happen. Well, Israel Madrimov, he gets the call.
Correct.
David Benavidez, he would have never moved up to 175 to the light heavyweight division in the first place had Canelo said, yes, I'm ready to fight David Benavidez. So guess what happened? David Morrell gets the call. Mm-hmm. And David Morrell, he's been clamoring for this fight, according to Samson Lukowitz, the promoter of David Benavidez, for some time now. Mm-hmm. But now is the time. And this is how you know it's the time. These guys are evenly matched as far as height. Because look at David Morrell. This guy is 6'1.5", but his reach, 78.5 inches of reach, which is about what? I think he has a 4-inch reach advantage over David Benavidez. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, he's a southpaw. So David Benavidez, he's going to have a long night with this young, hungry lion. You know, and I'm not saying that he's going to lose, but it's not going to be a fight like he was in with Andre. No disrespect to Demetrius Andre when he just went in there, and of course, within 6 rounds, it was over. David Morrell's ready. You know, David Benavidez 6'2". So they're like right there height-wise, but the reach advantage is going to the southpaw, who have a good jab, who's not scared of the power of Benavidez, nor is he scared or intimidated by the star power and notoriety or experience. So you got experience versus youth. And I'm saying youth not in age because both of these guys are around the same age, correct, but experience with David Benavidez and youth as far as the hungry lion mentality that David Morrell has, and he's less experienced. This is going to be a barn burner February 1st, and I can't wait.
So looking at that, at what you said, based off of the eye test, because both of these fighters are young, great fighters.
Yeah.
What would Morrell have to do to pull off an upset versus David Benavidez?
He's going to have to do the same thing Caleb Plant did in the first 5 rounds of their fight. He's going to have to let his hands go. We know that David Benavidez, because of his tradition and his culture of being Mexican descent, he gonna walk straight to you. He's not gonna back down. But when you got a guy like David Morrell, who's younger, he has to let his hands go. And one of the telltale signs to let you know whether or not he's ready is going to be in the championship rounds, after round 10. Is his conditioning going to hold up? Because this is where Benavidez's experience is going to come into play. Basically, he's going to be able to outlast Morrell if Morrell has fatigue issues in the later rounds, because we know that Morrell has been in there with lower level competition, so he doesn't have the experience of going a full 12 rounds more consecutively compared to a David Benavidez. But if this young man's conditioning is on point, he has to let his hands go, and he have to let his hands go early in the fight to let Benavidez know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna move with good lateral movement. I'm not gonna just stand in front of you now, but you're gonna get something every time you walk forward. And that's this long reach that I have and this cross. And you're gonna keep getting it, and I'm gonna keep letting my hands go. If he take those little breaks and hold, that's good too. But one thing that we know about Benavidez, once he put his foot on the gas and turn up, it's usually lights out. So Morrell has to use that reach advantage, let his hands go, and discourage Benavidez and frustrate the old man.
And on the flip side, David Benavidez, being who he is, being, what do you call him, the Mexican monster?
Mexican monster.
What do you expect from the Mexican monster against David Morrell? What do you think he's gonna do?
I expect David Benavidez to be the Mexican monster. He's going to have to go in there and let this young guy know. All that trash you was talking, I meant every word that I said. Because, Benavidez was talking spicy at the press conference. I mean, he was talking violent. Yeah. It went past boxing. Benavidez going to have to stand on that.
Correct.
And the things that he's going to have to do is be himself, the Mexican monster. Mix those punches up, body, head, body. Those are the combinations we want to see. Because one thing that Benavidez has is good combinations. A lot of people don't give him credit for that because they just are so used to him just going in, getting fighters out of there. But Benavidez does a great job with letting his hands go and landing combinations. And he's going to have to do that and slow this young guy down. Body, head, body, in that order. And then you'll see the Mexican monster excel in this fight.
Is it too early to ask you for a prediction?
Where we at?
About 2 months out.
About 2 months. All right, ask me in 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. You heard it here first. It's TBISE, the best in sports entertainment.